Hi, Chris. Hey, listeners. Super pumped, super happy to be on this podcast. Thanks a lot for inviting me. So, I am a CEO and a co-founder of Comrade Digital Marketing Agency. We actually own two digital marketing agencies. I'll explain later the reason why. We started out about 17 years ago, give or take. It was 2008, believe it or not. Best time to
Wow.
start the business, of course.
Any
And
business.
yeah, prior to starting this agency, I had a ton of experience. I worked in a few other marketing agencies, and I sort of saw an opportunity to help the small guys, small businesses with the real white glove services and amazing results.
Hmm.
When I worked with, at a few other agencies, I always saw the same issue where the bigger clients with the bigger checks were given the priority, were given the smartest resources and so on, but the small businesses were often overlooked. That's where myself and my business partner we sort of combined our forces and started this agency.
Hmm. Nice, nice. What was your business partner? Did you meet him at a previous job? Was he a good friend? How did you guys connect?
Yeah, so my business partner was actually one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Our paths crossed a handful of times. We were early entrepreneurs. We were doing videos, for money ever since we were probably 16. So we were always passionate about, and we knew that eventually we're gonna own a successful company. And this was an opportunity because back in 2008, internet was booming. Things were going well. Not everyone had websites. Marketing was an unknown, especially digital marketing was ever unknown thing. So there was a lot of desire to be visible online. That's where we stepped in. Later on, however, my business partner actually decided that it was time. It was probably 7, maybe 8 years into the business, and he decided that it was time for him to step out.
Mm.
And I had another business partner sort of swap places with my original co-founder,
Oh, wow. Okay.
which worked out for the best. By the way, I'm actually staying right now in my original co-founder apartment. I'm in Lisbon, Portugal. He moved to Lisbon about 3 years ago. So it worked out really nicely for me and for the
Yeah.
agency.
Oh, that's great. That speaks volumes that not only parted ways amicably, but you're still friends. Best friends, it sounds like.
Very much so. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So how did you get traction in the early days? Was it websites? Was it
Yeah, we were all about building out websites. We started out as a web
mhm,
shop, primarily for the reason that I had a technical background and I built projects, built websites myself. It was I worked at a few other agencies while we also had this agency, right? For like the first 3 years, I sort of this agency was more of like a side gig, if you will, while I was still gaining as much knowledge at the much larger agency. I was trying to soak up as much knowledge as possible. Like, how do you actually hire people? How do you manage budgets? How do you talk successfully with clients? How do you build successful strategies? How do you go about growing an agency from financial background perspective and so on? And
mhm.
only after we had about I want to say maybe 4 full-time employees, it was time for me to finally focus my 100% energy and focus on this agency. And I quit all of my other projects and fully focused on that.
Oh my gosh.
A
Wow.
few years, yeah, it was quite a story. A few years into it, we started getting questions from our clients at the time, like, okay, we now have a website. Then what? I mean, we don't need a website just to have a website. Ultimately, we're interested in having clients, more clients. Can you help us get more clients? So we quickly figured out that we definitely need an add-on, and we added our first marketing service, which was search engine optimization (SEO) to the mix. And then following that, we added advertising. and email marketing, and then later on social media marketing. And so that, a few years into it, we became a full digital marketing agency with all digital capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
We were a generalist agency to begin with, meaning that we worked with every single industry you can imagine. I think we measured that it was like 42 clients from 42 different industries. And when my second business partner stepped into a place, he pushed really hard, and I'm really thankful to him for that. He pushed really hard for the specialization in the specific verticals. And we went into, and now we fully focus on serving law firms, home service clients, or home builders, home improvement companies, and so on, and healthcare. We're currently dabbling with the healthcare industry as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. That's awesome. So the name Comrade Digital Marketing Agency, that's fun. How did you decide on that?
Yeah, big story. I'm gonna try to cut it, make it super short.
Yeah, yeah.
So I moved to US when I was 19 from Russia. So I'm
Mm.
Russian by the background, right? And originally, when we incepted this company, it was called CF Style Incorporated, something that no client would ever remember. I mean, it was like bananas. At that point, we had a fella. He was in the sales position that started working with us, and he's like, "There's no way I can sell CF style. Just too difficult." Imagine, a business owner sitting with 3, 4 different proposals, and one of them is from CF style. I mean, it just doesn't stand out. We gotta come up with something that's catchy that everyone can remember. So we started thinking about rebranding ourselves. We came up with probably a short list of 15 different names. And next day he comes in, he's like, none of those names are really catchy, and I'm not really passionate about it. But because it's not you guys, I have a great name for us. Okay, what is it? It's gonna be Comrade. Why Comrade? Well, because you Ivan, from Russia, and you gotta, like, that's not something to hide. Well, I'm like, okay, but I just don't want to show it as well. Okay, well, Comrade is not only about the thing that reminds people about Russia. It also associates with you helping your friend, your relative, your ally. Comrade is actually a much nicer word if you look at the connotation of the word. If in the true translation, true meaning, it means helping one to achieve whatever they go, helping them get to that place. Kind of like Sherpa per se. If you um, and it resonated with us, and we're like, okay, I mean, what could go wrong? So we picked a name, and we've been known as a Comrade digital marketing agency ever since. We've been asked probably a few times what it does really mean. We give the explanation like, okay, cool, move on. What can you do for me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's fun, and it's very very memorable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
think
makes
so.
sense. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
remember,
awesome.
yeah, PR is PR. Whether it's bad or good,
Yeah.
the goal
Yeah.
of PR is to be memorable.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So you said you had 4 employees before you left your other job. That's
Hmm.
amazing.
Hmm.
How did you how were you finding clients when you first started, and how do you guys find clients now?
Oh yeah, it all started out as a word of mouth. Obviously, we built a couple first of the first projects for our friends and family, and just a very close group of people that we hang out with. And we always try to do a really, really good quality. Like that's something that I knew deep down that in order for us to be successful, we have to deliver exceptional quality and exceptional service. And that's what we did for a couple of the first projects. So work grew very quickly, spread very quickly, and we started getting more and more projects to the point where it was sustainable for us without really needing an advertisement of some sort. I think we grew probably to the size of maybe $1 million, $1.5 million in revenue just by word of mouth, referrals, and
Wow.
like the success track. Right now, we're much larger. We're approaching 8 figures. Should be there fairly soon, and it's obviously a combination of different things. Most of our new clients come to us from digital. We actually do what we preach. We're very findable. If you search for a digital marketing agency or like SEO services and so on, you would stumble upon us. If you search on Google or if you search on AI, like Perplexity or ChatGPT, we're getting into that right now, obviously. We also do fair amount of advertising and a few other things, but referral also generates clients for us as well. Like that mantra,
Hmm.
really good service, really good client results is still very much important for us, and that's what still generates clients even after 17 years after inception.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that conversation with a client or a prospect, and they're like, "Well, how do we know this works?" And it's like, "Well, why? How are we talking right now?" And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
good
how did
point."
you find us?
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
yeah,
That's an
yeah.
easiest explanation.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Awesome. So, uh, you mentioned a couple industries that you serve. I believe it
Mhm.
was healthcare and law firms and one other.
Home
Home
services or
services.
home improvement
Yeah.
companies,
Why were those
roofing,
the
flooring, so on.
yeah, why were those the
Yeah,
niches you chose?
very good question. Originally, we chose law firms, and there were a couple reasons for that. First of all, if you look at all three of those industries, what I guess is unique about those three industries is they're local service providers. So,
Hmm.
in a nutshell, we use the same recipe, and the recipe is it's local audience looking for local services. And the way they look for those local services is very much similar. Whether you look for a doctor or you look for an attorney or you're looking for a contractor or a roofing company in your neighborhood or for your specific house. Our goal is to make sure that our clients, being businesses, are findable in the places where their audience is searching for, and that's usually Google. Now it's also AI with Perplexity, with ChatGPT, with Gemini, with Grok, and so on. Like that we now also offer that service. We're
Hmm.
very quick when it comes to technology and adaptation to new tech. Um, so that's why we chose to go after those three industries. But originally, we chose lawyers because we had the biggest concentration of our clients in that industry, and we had the massive. At that point, we had the most case studies, really good case studies in that industry. That
Hmm.
was first of all, and second of all, lawyers are if you generate good growth for them, they're good paying clients. They would not be opposed to increase their budgets to the point where as long as it makes sense for them, right? So you can grow very effectively if you service lawyers really well. Hence, and there are a lot of lawyers in the U.S. Let's put it this way. Also,
Yeah.
that's why if you look at the most or the fastest growing sectors in the marketing space, everyone is trying to get into legal because it's such a lucrative industry, such a lucrative space. Once we got successful with lawyers, second sector sort of, we stumbled upon it by, also looking at who else do we service really, really well. And we had a handful of roofing companies, handful of flooring companies, contractors, countertop folks, and so on. We're like, okay, that would be our natural second industry. And now we're so slowly building up our third arm, which is the healthcare, which is going to take a little time because we got to be a little more cautious because of HIPAA compliance. You can't really do some of the things that we're doing for the lawyers and home service clients. That's why it's probably going to take a little more time for us.
Got it. And are they specific types of lawyers, like injury? Or
injury is our biggest concentration. About 40% of our law firm clients is are injury clients. Criminal defense, fair amount, estate planning attorneys, also family immigration. Most of our clients are B2C. We don't really work with B2B clients that well because that segment is not looking for our clients the same way.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah,
got it. So you mentioned getting found, kind of transitioning from, or at least augmenting SEO with being found in large language models like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, et cetera. Is that what you're most excited about in the realm of marketing right now, or is there something else?
That and just the larger implication of what AI would do, not only to our industry, but to the world. We know it, we feel it, we're at the at the front of it all. I'm really, really excited about it for multiple reasons. Number one, we would become a lot more efficient. Not when I say we, I'm not talking about Comrade. I'm talking about we as humanity, right? We as businesses. It's definitely going to be a pivotal moment where we have to adapt very, very, very quickly. Even before OpenAI became popular, we're already experimenting with LLM systems. We already started building some of our own internal tools. Right now, we have an ecosystem of proprietary systems and tools that help us improve our efficiency, help us build more sustainable workflows, and increase our profitability and improve our clients' results. So we're already doing that. I'll give you a very quick example. We built previously, we had 4 people working on lead qualification for our clients. So imagine every single time we would deploy a marketing campaign for our client, the end result is getting qualified leads, right? You would get, let's say, 100 different submissions. And out of this 100 submissions, it would be maybe only a third of it would be qualified leads. Everything else is just the garbage. Some people applying for job, some solicitations, noise, and so on, irrelevant stuff. So we had 4 full-timers sniffing through all these conversions and qualifying leads. So we sat there, we decided there's got to be a better way. So we built an AI automation, which basically we built a growth portal where we collect all the submissions. And then our AI system qualifies every single submission, and it provides data as to why the submission was qualified or disqualified. And it's just the beginning. Like we have AI enabled pretty much in every single part of our operation you can think of at this point. Results, I think within the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to become 40% more efficient. 40%.
Wow.
That's how well it's moving right now. It's crazy. So we separately developed an R&D and innovation department, this is their only job, improve efficiency of all other departments. All other departments submit ideas and submit their processes that can be automated. And the main KPI of our R&D innovation department is to save up 500 to 1,000 hours monthly. So if they're able to save up 12,000 hours, 6 to 12,000 hours annually, that's 3 to 6 full-time employees that we no longer need to hire when we grow. And we grow pretty rapidly. We're approaching about 100 people at this point.
Wow.
So yeah, back to your original question. Obviously, as soon as we saw what Perplexity, ChatGPT, and so on would do to our industry, we started thinking, okay, search engine optimization is going to change. Our industry is going to pivot in a big way. People were already at that point they started searching for information online, started searching for information using their whatever ideal model, right? So we started digging around, like how can we make sure that our clients show up when someone is searching for it. And we developed our own thesis on what needs to be done. There's actually a service called GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. It's an extension of your old famous SEO. There's just 20% difference that we also need to sort of develop or pivot to in order for our clients to show up not only on Google search results but also on all of those AI models.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Wow, really you guys have great instincts, and you're good at reading the tea leaves, and you're like, this large language model stuff is going to change, so we should dive head first.
Hey,
Very,
thanks,
very
Chris.
impressive, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's a I guess it's a survival instinct. If you're
Yeah.
not into it by now, if you're not exploring it, if you're not utilizing it, there's a really good chance you might be left behind, and your business might get decimated eventually.
Mm-hmm.
There are obviously a lot of businesses that are protected, like in the physical space. If you're home service company, if you're a roofing company or flooring company, whatever, no AI is going to replace you. Obviously, that's it's good for you. But if you in the world of technology, marketing, if you're a lawyer, like we have some of our business lawyers that are losing revenue right now. It's no joke. Some of their clients replacing them with ChatGPT. Like,
Yeah.
hey, ChatGPT, help me create a contract or read my contract, identify if there are any flaws. It's so easy.
Yeah, it's
That's why
crazy.
it was more of a how do we make sure that our clients eventually not gonna start, looking for something else? How
Mm-hmm.
do we make sure we're ahead of the trend in everyone else?
Yeah.
Um, and that's what led to this innovation and this desire to know everything about AI.
Yeah, really, really impressive. That's awesome. That's inspiring. For our listeners who have businesses of all levels, thinking of starting businesses, what's the best way to get started incorporating large language models at every corner of your business to increase efficiency by 40% in the next 12 months?
Yeah, obviously, don't get discouraged. It's you're not gonna get there overnight. That's not possible.
Yeah.
But starting somewhere is important. And what I usually advise our clients, and I consult also, what I advise businesses to do, figure out where automation makes sense, where AI makes sense, where start using AI as sort of your assistant, and start with something small. Figure out how to deploy and just outsource one task at a time. It could be operations, it could be production, it could be sales. Anything can be automated. It could be marketing. Anything can be automated, but you just need to focus on one thing at a time.
Hmm.
For instance, it could be figuring out how to do something in your operations better. You can always you can always obviously download ChatGPT or Claude for that matter, and you can start asking questions like, "Here's how I currently do this process. Here's what kind of tools I use and what kind of documents I use. Here's how my document looks like. Help me figure out how I can do it more efficiently." Help
Mm-hmm.
me figure out a reduction plan here. And you can always start there. And then my other advice would be, there are a lot of AI people, AI folks that are thinkers, that are, that have that logic, where if you tell them your current structure, your current, processes, they'll be like, oh, of course I can automate it, in a couple hours, no brain needed here. And they would turn something that otherwise takes you a week into like a 6 hour task. um, so definitely seek for their advice. Start listening to a conversation, start listening to podcasts like this, or a few others. Go to YouTube, start pounding like, how can AI help me help my business? There are a lot of practical tools, a lot of practical ideas. And frankly, you can just learn automation just by watching a couple of YouTube videos. The other day, I watched a really nice episode where an individual very quickly built an sales automation where you no longer need an outreach person. It saves you tremendous amount of money and tremendous amount of time, because it can do automation like on the fly, and it can scale up tremendously. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
work for everybody. A caution, word of caution here, but it's a great way to start.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my other advice would be, when you start using AI and when you will see how powerful it is and what it can do to you, just remember, don't outsource it completely. Don't let AI fully replace you, but rather turn AI into your pilot. Feed it with your personal information. I'll give you a really good example. For instance, you can start automating writing content for your website right now. But if you just tell ChatGPT, hey, write a topic on, let's say, how digital marketing agency needs to pivot, based on this AI craziness, what you'll get is very generic information. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be helpful. It's probably going to hurt your business. But if you're going
Mm-hmm.
to record not couple, but like, 5 to 10 minutes of your advice of what it means and your know-how, your expertise, and so on. And if you can tell ChatGPT, now turn this into into an episode or
Yeah,
into a
yeah,
blog post, it's a lot more
yeah,
useful, and it's going to help
yeah.
you as opposed to hurting you.
Wow, wow. No, that's great. I think that's what everyone's worried about. They're like, oh, well, everyone's just gonna make the exact same content. It's gonna be boring and not
And there will
valuable
be,
and
if you're just
uniform.
gonna, yeah, AI
Yeah,
is not capable of creating stuff. It's
yeah.
amazing at spinning and figuring out how to improve something based on the existing norm, right? Like based on
Mm-hmm.
existing content and so on. But it's not going to produce that amazing ad that we saw and Apple launched when they first introduced their Mac computers, right?
Mm-hmm. Right,
It's
right.
not capable to develop those creative ideas. So we
Yeah.
just have to clearly understand its advantages and disadvantages, and we have to use it as our co-pilots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a brilliant point. And I do that as well. I write something or I say something and I go, make this way better.
Mm-hmm.
And it does. So
Mm-hmm.
it saves me a
And
lot of time, but it's still my ideas.
yep, and another advice, Claude, for all of you that don't use it, is an amazing tool when it comes to figuring out data points and understanding various data documents. Like I have various financial reports that come to me from our operation, from our operations department, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't read those reports anymore. I feed them to Claude or even ChatGPT and be like, highlight the most important aspects for me, or why did our revenue increase or decrease, like what are the main points, and it'll go through the data points, it'll analyze everything, it'll be like, okay, your revenue increased here, and so on, so on, so on. So you saving yourself tremendous amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, great point. Ivan, this has been awesome, man. I could talk to you for the next 2 hours, but I will respect your half work, half vacation time right now. I have one final question for you. It is an open-ended question. You can take it in any direction that you like, and that question
Okay.
is, what are you working towards?
Excellent.
Excellence.
Yes, that would be my answer. I
Awesome.
definitely want to become a better version of myself. Not only business wise, but as a parent, as a husband, as a friend.
Hmm.
Um, I think constant development, personal development, business development is what will lead us to at least what excites me all the time.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. And I think everything you've shared has proven you talk the talk as well as walk the walk there. So
I'm trying to. There's
yeah.
obviously a lot that I also want to do, but yeah, I definitely love my balanced lifestyle. Is I have big ambitions and big goals, but as long as I'm constantly innovating, constantly improving myself, constantly getting myself into new spheres of life, I'm very satisfied there.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Where can my audience find out more about you and Comrade?
Yeah, you can actually go to my personal website, which is ivanvislavskiy.com. You can learn more about me, and you can reach out whether you have a business question or personal question, AI question, or whatever. I'm just happy to give back to a community and help in any way I can.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. We'll be sure to link that in the show notes. Ivan, thank you so much, man. This was a real pleasure. You really know your stuff and you explain it very clearly, and I had a freaking blast just talking with you, man.
Same here, Chris. I definitely enjoyed our conversation. Thanks a lot for this amazing opportunity to have this amazing discussion. And until next time.
Yeah, awesome. All right. To all our listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in and keep on growing out there, everybody. See